I had a scary encounter today. Took Jace to the grocery store, and I was so excited last week about his push for independence and letting him go get his Coke out of the little fridge at the end cap. Well, today we go and we get our groceries, and I had told him we were going to go to lunch afterward and, all of that. So we get in line to get the groceries, and he's looking at me with the anxious look he always has, where he has a question on his mind or a thought on his mind that, and so he's got that stare. And I said, "What?" And he's pointing and saying, "Coke." I said, "No, we have Cokes at home. We don't need to buy one right now. And we're not going anywhere else other than to go to lunch. When we go to lunch, we're going to get you a soda with lunch." He wasn't having it. He wanted to go get that Coke out of there. Now, was it because he liked the fact that I let him do it before and he thought it was cool that he got to do that independent thing? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Because what happened was, once we got up there and I kept telling him, "No, you're not going to have one right now," he pulled away from me, went over, was going to open it and take a Coke out. And I grabbed his wrist and I said, "No." And he pulled away from me. Big old scene. Everybody's staring, of course, which I don't really care about that, but I always wonder, what are their thoughts? Are they going to call security, or are they going to think the wrong thing is going on? So I finally got him to calm down, and I said, "You come back to this basket and you put your hands on the basket and you keep them there. And if you continue with this behavior, we won't go to lunch either. I'll just take you straight home." I said, "I need you to calm down and do a good job." Finally got him to comply, and he stood there just staring at me like, I guess probably thinking, what else can I do? And then he just kept whispering about the Coke. And so I had promised him lunch, so I said, "You need to stand here quietly while I finish and we get to the car, or we'll go home. We won't go to lunch if you keep this up." So because he complied, I still took him to lunch because we had to eat, and I had already had that in the plan. So I let him do that, and I let him get a soda with lunch. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I never know. So we're home, and he's eating his lunch, but still talking about Coke, still anxious about Coke. So I think at this point, it's kind of clear that we have to completely cut him off from all soda for a while, just to get him out of this behavior pattern, because he gets into patterns to where he expects this, he associates this with this, and once he does that, it's set up to where if he doesn't get what he thinks he's supposed to get with that, where he's associated it, he freaks out. So the only thing I can do, it's almost like cut it off until he kind of calms and stops associating it with that, and then we can slowly introduce treats that he wants. But he doesn't have to have Coke. It's not essential that he has it. It's been a reward and a treat, but it's turned into a demand now. And so this is a twofold situation where I've got to try and figure out how to, for his mental health and just health in general, deal with this obsession with Coke. And on the other hand, I'm seeing this sudden surge of independent thought, which is a good thing. Last night, he wouldn't go to sleep because he was up. Sometimes we let him be up on his iPad because he's not ready to sleep when we are. So it's okay. He can stay in his bed. He can put on his headphones and he can be on his iPad. And if he's on it all night, that's on him. He'll sleep in the morning. Unless we have something we have to do the next day, it doesn't really matter. Well, this was the case that we kind of let him because we went to bed a bit early. But he started giggling and making noises and shrieking and doing all of his attention-getting things. And I had earplugs in, so I didn't. I could hear him, but I didn't realize how loud it was, I guess. So Mike got up and took it away from him, turned off the TV, because he also had the TV on, took the remote away, or was going to take the remote away, take away his iPad. And again, Jason refused. and he pulled back and he struggled and he fought over it, not letting Mike take it from him. So this has been happening more and more. He's asserting his independence. It's a good thing, but we are in trouble if he gets to the point where he realizes he can overpower us. He's 6'2". I'm 5'1", and Mike is 5'6", 5'5". And we're getting up in age. Mike can still handle him. I'm not as strong as I used to be. So I'm going to have to reach out somewhere to get some kind of behavior modification help, just to know the right way to deal with this. Just another chapter. But I think I'm putting this out here not for sympathy or not for, not to complain or to rant, more to let people know these are the things that we don't know about, that we don't anticipate, and it's different with every single individual. And there's no written book on how to handle these things. I've Googled it, I've YouTubed it, everything. They tell you how to assess for why he might be doing it, but they don't really give you any tips on how to manage it. Unless it's so abusive that then you learn how to de-escalate it and how to confine him and all that. Well, hopefully we won't get to that point, but still, I'd like to kind of work with him on his independence at the same time, keep from heading into that real challenge of not being able to take him in public because we never know how he's going to behave. It's a whole new chapter. Anyway, I just wanted to share that, and I am hoping that the day goes smoothly, and I'm filled with just this anxiety and emotional overload or whatever from the situation. So yeah, there, whatever. Anyway, if anybody has any comments, suggestions, I would love to hear them. Please put them in the comments so that I can maybe have some guidance if anyone else has had to deal with this, and they can direct me somewhere. So, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.